The state government about a $60 million upgrade or replacement for the almost 100-year-old Adelaide Bridge over the Torrens to take the weight of cars and trams. Councillor Mary Kouros says the council unanimously agreed to push forward with the idea.
Everybody wants a tram. You know, you're going to have people from Norwood saying, no, not to North Adelaide, we want it to come up here, and vice versa from people from Unley. But, you know, everybody wants the tram.
A new study shows teenagers struggle to differentiate between alcoholic and zero alcoholic drinks when they have similar branding. Flinders University involved 300 teenagers aged 15 to 17 in the study. It saw them viewing 20 randomly ordered images of beverages. Research Dr Ashley Bartram says they believed exposure to both could lead to more alcohol consumption in the long run.
It was really, really clear they're making them think of alcohol, which makes sense. A lot of these have the alcohol brands on them. They have the same sort of packaging and labels and that sort of thing, and they're very much triggering those thoughts of alcohol.
And Johnny Mathis is retiring from performing. The 89-year-old's final concert will be in May. The announcement says he's suffering from age and memory issues. Now turning to 5AA sport, and Queensland have lost a wicket in their second innings. They're back at the crease, sitting at 1 for 74, trailing SA by 102 runs. SA made 271 in their first dig in the Shield final, Jake Lehmann scoring a century. Well, it's game day for Port Adelaide. They face Essendon at Marvel Stadium tonight. The game will be live on 5AA. The Crows will reveal their squad for round 3 tonight. Adelaide are at home to North Melbourne on Sunday. Coach Matthew Nick says having an injury-free group at the moment is a big plus.
It would be lovely to be in that position every week, and we know at the moment that's a luxury for us. We're going to do what we can to manage players if that's a possibility, but we understand that we're going to be challenged in that space going forward.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
In the Parklands, expect some delays in foot traffic around the Karen-Rolton Oval for the Sheffield Shield final. Take care around Port Road and West Terrace. Plimpton sewer replacement works continuing on Married Road near Pembroke Avenue, down a one lane both directions, and down a 40 at Darlington for works Main South Road near Brookside Road. Cameras the Esplanade Semaphore and Grange Road at Grange. Why pay on-road costs for a car that wants to go off-road? The Volkswagen Amarok Style V6. Get all your on-road costs for free. Test drive today. Offer ends March 31. Conditions and fees apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather. Sunny tomorrow, 32. Saturday, 29. Right now it's 31 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Raglis. Tonight, a bombshell guilty plea by disgraced former opposition leader David Spears, who's admitted to supplying drugs, will have full coverage. Cheapest supermarkets, we reveal the rankings, the no-brainer home upgrade that could save you thousands, and the major study revealing the best way to treat lower back pain. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
When you think of single malt Scotch whisky, you might imagine Scotland's green hills, her fresh babbling brooks, and rows of oak barrels. But you can get the same feeling right here in Adelaide when you walk down the aisles at Powell's. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can guide you through Scotland's best whisky labels and the best from around the globe, all under one roof. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Powell's, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Discover the world with Bunnock Tours and Phil Hoffman Travel. Family run since forever. Travel with these small group specialists with just enough guidance and freedom to explore. Dive deep into the heart of each destination with sightseeing and tipping included. Plus return airfares on most tours. From ancient pyramids to bustling bazaars. Discover more of what you came to see with Bunnock Tours, because it's who you go with that matters. Visit pht.com.au.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
6 minutes past 3 here on 5AA. Good afternoon to you. We are now live on the Facebook and YouTube live stream, so jump on and say hi, because it is time to bust some costs.
Helping you save a few dollars. Who you gonna call? Cost Busters.
Joining me in the studio today is dietitian and nutritionist from FIVEAA Nutrition Co, Chloe McLeod. Hello, Chloe.
Hi, Stacey. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Now, I was reading this reporting about a study. It's only been released this week. And the headlines, as always, the headlines are very attention-grabbing. What to eat if you want to live to 70 without chronic disease. And, you know, that's a big...
What a headline.
That's a big claim. But I thought, you know, I think most people, that would be their aim, to live a long and healthy life. And if you can get to 70 without any chronic disease, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I think most of us would be very happy with that.
Yeah. So what did you think of the study? It was a 30-year study, and it found that if you eat a healthier diet earlier in your life, then you have an increased the likelihood of healthy aging, which, I mean, sounds pretty basic, doesn't it?
It does sound really basic, but also it just because something seems basic or simple doesn't mean it's easy.
Yeah.
So I really liked this study. Over 30 years, it's a really great time frame. There was more than 100,000 people that they included in it. I think it's 105,000 people. So really beautifully large sample size as well. And they also compared a number of different types of diets as well. So the Mediterranean diet, MIND diet, the DASH diet for managing hypertension as well, plus a number of others. So
what's the MIND diet?
So that's one which is very similar to the Mediterranean diet, but it's more focused on brain health and improving the health of your brain. So with a big focus on including more berries and walnuts and certain healthy fats in your diet. So what all of these diets have in common, though, is they all encourage us to eat more plants. So in particularly eating more vegetables and fruits, as well as whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds. And I think, I've come on here and spoken about that a number of times now, but I'm super happy to talk about this study because it really just shows that it's not just a couple of papers that are showing this. This is a 30-year study with more than 100,000 participants that is showing that by making better nutrition choices early on in your life, you're then able to see improved health outcomes as you age. And, I look at my parents and at my grandparents, and I know that for them, I'm pretty lucky. They're all relatively healthy. Not saying there's an absence entirely of chronic disease, but I think from a grandparent perspective, being able to run around with your grandkids and keep up with them and look after them is a huge goal. And I know I've spoken with my mum about this, and she's just like, it's so important to me to be able to do that. And I'm sure that there's others who, whether it's looking after grandkids or, going on that holiday in the caravan or whatever it might be, there's, the healthier you are, the more you're going to be able to enjoy your life as you age, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So is it as simple as going vegetarian?
No.
If it's more, more fruit, more veggies, more legumes, more nuts and seeds, does that point to a vegetarian diet? I mean, you could argue that, of course, and there is really great health outcomes to being vegetarian, but you don't have to be vegetarian to have these extraordinary health outcomes. Most of these studies do include red meat. Some don't, but most do, even if it is in smaller quantities than we might be used to. Most of them recommend including more fish, maybe go out on that fishing boat. Yes. Friday, the showdown fish off.
But incorporating fish into your diet as well. Most of them suggest that. And then other sources of protein as well are really, really important. I think, though, where most of us fall down is actually around the plant side of things. I think most of us do, in general, I'll say, particularly as we do get a bit older, do probably eat enough meat, do probably, depending who we are, eat enough fish. But the vegetable component in particular, looking at the stats from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, it's around 96% of Australian adults don't eat enough veggies on a daily basis.
Oh, wow.
And that's using the Australian Dietary Guidelines, which suggest 5 serves per day. So 1 cup of salad or half a cup of cooked vegetables is a serve, and 96% not eating that. Some of the studies in the paper that we've referenced today, they they talk about having 3 serves of veggies. Others talk about having 5 to 7. So there are some different variations in there, but essentially what it comes down to is we need to be incorporating more of this fresh produce or plant-based produce in particularly in order to get these health outcomes that I'd say probably every single person tuning in today would really like to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting a few text messages. Will says, good afternoon. On this topic, I went vegetarian 5 years ago, still vegetarian now. I chose to go veggie for personal reasons, but found I'm putting on more weight now being veggie than what I was when I was eating protein. That's interesting.
So what I would say there, Will, is I'd really strongly encourage you to have a look at, yes, being vegetarian, but look at where the sources of protein are still coming from in your diet. The most common mistake that I see people make when they go vegetarian is just meat and fish and so on are all cut out. And if the person's vegan, then dairy is often cut out as well, and eggs too. So if none of those things are included and they're not being replaced with plant-based options, it is going to be really hard to meet protein requirements. Protein helps to keep you full, so you're more likely to end up overeating. So I would just be, and I'm not saying this is exactly what you're doing maybe wrong, but it'd probably be the first thing I would be looking at if you were sitting in the clinic with me. Where is the protein coming from? So tofu, legumes, so chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, those are probably the easiest things to start to look at from a protein perspective. And being vegetarian, a lot of vegetarians do still eat dairy and do still eat eggs. So they're both really good sources of protein too. So I'd be looking at incorporating them into your diet and including more of your vegetables and less of your sort of starchy carbohydrates, because again they're pretty easy to overeat when you're vegetarian if you're not feeling super satisfied, and go from there.
Yeah, okay, there you go, Will. Thank you for your text. And Julie says, I've been veggie for 35 years, take supplements, gave up smoking and drinking as well. I golf, walk and swim every day, and I nurse a 93-year-old mother at home. It's worked for me. There you go, Julie.
Nailing
well done,
it, Julie. Love it.
Golf, walk and swim every day.
Yeah.
Good on you.
It sounds like there's been a really wonderful change in the quality of Julie's diet, regardless of being vegetarian or not, I'm going to say, as well as that cessation of smoking, huge difference there.
Yeah.
And then being physically active. And as we were talking about before we jumped on this, on speaking live, we were talking about nutrition is a huge part of this, but it's not the only part of it. So being physically active, having social connections, spending time with loved ones, which all of those things were just mentioned by Julie, they're all really important too.
Yeah, that's very, very true. What do you think? 8223 0000 is the number to call. If it meant you might live a bit longer or live a healthier life, would going veggie? And that's not what Chloe's saying. She's looking at me saying, don't say that's my advice. That's not her advice. She's not said that. But would you consider going vegetarian if it meant maybe you'd live a healthier life? And sometimes, Chloe, I think we do talk about living a long and healthy life, and maybe is the focus too much on the long life and not the healthy part of that?
I think so. Personally, I would prefer to live a few less years that are with a really good quality life than, ending my last few years not being able to do the things I love or see the people I love. That's me saying this as a relatively young person. I don't know where I fall at the moment. And I'm sure that, people's perceptions change over time. But I think if we're able to do the things we love, spend time with the people that we love, and continue to live a life that we enjoy, then why not make a few dietary changes?
Yeah. Now, as we sort of said from the outset, it didn't seem like there were many surprises in this study to me. This feels like things that we know and have been told before, eating more fresh fruit, veggies, legumes, the lean meats, getting your proper protein. But sometimes we know it, but it's hard to implement it. And especially at the moment, everybody's time poor.
Absolutely.
Everyone's watching their wallets at the supermarket. And sometimes that quick and easy, maybe processed item can be the easy option, and at the moment, quick and easy is priority for a lot of people.
Absolutely it is. And I think, as I said at the very start of this chat, just because something sounds simple or we've heard it before doesn't mean it's easy to action or easy to do.
Yeah.
So I think looking at where you're at, it's not about being perfect. It's about making small, actionable changes over time. So if at the moment you're like, oh yeah, I have one piece of fruit in the day, it'd be great to get 2. Let's aim for 2. So, let's say you're consistently having that apple as your afternoon snack. Amazing. Maybe we could chuck some berries on your breakfast or a banana on your breakfast. Maybe if you've noticed that it's really easy for you to eat vegetables in your evening meal, but you're falling down at the rest of the day, find another place in the day where it would be easy for you to swap them in. So maybe you usually have a sandwich at lunch. Maybe it's putting some salad in the sandwich. Or maybe you just don't really like salad all that much. So maybe it's, it's super hot today still, but as we move into winter, maybe it's incorporating some vegetable soup. Maybe it's having some vegetable sticks with some hummus or some other favourite dip that you like as an afternoon snack. So looking at some different ways that you might be able to incorporate these things in. Maybe it's even chucking some spinach in that smoothie. I know we talked about putting cauliflower in a smoothie a couple of months ago. So there's some different ways you can start to incorporate some more of these different plant-based foods into your diet as well to increase that overall intake without making huge changes. And often when we make small changes at a time and build on them, we get better outcomes because it's easier to keep them there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. And we're getting a couple of questions on the text line. If you've got a question for Chloe, get on the phone, 8223 0000, or you can send us a text, 0448 08 1395, and we'll be back to answer your questions after this.
There is care in simplicity. Our experienced team understand that keeping things simple and easy is the best approach. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today. Simplicity Funerals. Easy, respectful, simple.
This station endorses the Commercial Radio Code of Practice, which has been registered by the Australian Communications and Media Authority. Content on this station is regulated by this code. The code covers areas such as material not suitable for broadcast, news and current affairs, Australian music, live hosted entertainment, and the promotion of gambling during live sport. You can obtain a copy of the code by contacting this station or from the Commercial Radio Australia website, commercialradio.com.au.
Build a roof over your decking, a roof over your car. Alpha Industries are the best by far. A roof over your barbie, a roof over your beers. Alpha Industries last for donkey's years. A roof over your swimming pool, a roof over your boat. Alpha Industries, ask us for a quote. Build a roof over your grandma or anything you please. Verandas, sheds and carports, Alpha Industries. Just call Ken Hall, we'll be there anytime at all. Just call Ken Hall.
Is a leaky tap or toilet drip driving you crazy? Need new lights or fans installed quickly? Is it time for aircon maintenance or a roof repair? Ken Hall handles all your small jobs with care. We are plumbers, electricians, roofers and air conditioning experts. Working for you since 1983, just call Ken.
Just call Ken Hall.
Tough enough for any task, the 2024 Mazda BT50 is now in run-out. Tackle work and play with the powerful XT 4x4 dual cab manual from $49,990 ABN Drive Away. Or the SP 4x4 dual cab auto, now from $63,990 ABN Drive Away. Plus, enjoy additional run-out bonuses across the BT50 range. Visit your local dealer and drive away today. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. See Mazda.com.au for details.
Ray White, big name in real estate, but also the biggest name in business broking. What makes us big? Our people, like Brett Buckley and his team. MBA, lecturer, and multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year. Brett doesn't just read a P&L, he feels it. If you're selling or expanding your business, Brett can take your business apart and find you more money. And we're not talking small change. Go on, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA.
At Snooze, we know pillows are personal. That's why we celebrate every fluffer, every hugger, stacker and karate chopper, memory foam or feather lover. Find your amazing at Snooze.
It's amazing what a little snooze can do.
5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
Now we are in the middle of Costbusters with Chloe McLeod, dietitian and nutritionist at FIVEAA Nutrition Co. And we're talking about a new study that was released earlier this week showing that eating less processed foods and more fruit, vegetables, legumes, seeds, nuts, all of those things. Chloe, is that right?
Yep.
Pretty all right summation?
Great summation.
Means that you are more likely to get to older age without any chronic disease. Answering your questions now or taking your calls, 8223 0000 is the number. And Kimberly is in Seacliff. Hello, Kimberly.
Hi there. How are you both?
Good, thank you. How are
Very
you?
well, thank you.
Good. Yeah, enjoying listening to your info that you're giving there, Chloe.
Thank you.
I am vegetarian, and so obviously eating a lot of plant-based foods, veggies, legumes, beans, etc., etc. But I do sometimes enjoy some of the processed vegetarian foods also. Some of the schnitzels that are available in the supermarket, the vegetarian minces, and that sort of thing, making, like spaghetti bolognese, that sort of thing with the vegetarian minces. And I just wondered your thoughts on those sorts of products.
That's an excellent question, Kimberly. So I'm going to say that they're not all created equal, and just because something's vegetarian doesn't automatically make it be healthy. However, a lot of the things that you've just mentioned, I would say are a really great thing to include as part of a vegetarian diet. So really focusing more on things like your legumes and things that you mentioned initially. But then, if there's some of those plant-based things, plant-based schnitzels or sausages and that sort of thing in there sometimes as another source of protein and just to help you to give a bit more diversity, absolutely go ahead. I think, you can also make or purchase some really great different types of patties and different things in there now. I would just check for ingredients, check for the salt level because sometimes it can be really high. I'd also check for different preservatives and things too, because some of them can have certain things in them that sometimes don't really agree with people all that well. But overall, I think including them sometimes for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Excellent.
No worries.
Thank you for that.
There you go.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, Kimberly.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. That's Kimberly in Seacliff. We have a question on the text line, Chloe, 0448 08 1395. Does frozen veg count?
Oh, good question. So absolutely it does. So when you purchase frozen veggies, they actually get snap frozen. So what happens is they are picked immediately and then they're frozen immediately. So they actually retain more nutrients than something that might have been sitting in the back of your fridge for a week or two.
I feel very seen.
We've all seen the floppy broccoli that's sitting back there.
Stop it. We had that for dinner last night.
And I mean, still eat it, still use it, absolutely. Yeah. But if you're then purchasing the frozen and using something that was frozen upon picking, it will retain more of the nutrients, which is obviously one of the reasons we want you eating all these veggies.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good to know, because sometimes that's the convenient option for me, buying the frozen veggies, and you feel like sometimes the convenient option is the cheats way out and is probably not as good for you. But
absolutely, but they are. There's actually some packs that you can get, and you can probably get these at some of the other supermarkets as well. But you can get these frozen vegetable things from Coles, which are, I'll call them a medley mix, where there's actually a bit of sauce and different things in there as well. So there's one that's got some chickpeas and some quinoa and a little bit of a sauce, and there's a ratatouille one and a Mediterranean mix. I can't remember the names of them all, but if you're looking for something super convenient, they're a bit of a staple, I think, and make it really easy to get those veggies in. There's the flavour there already as well, so you don't have to worry about going, what am I going to add to these?
Sauce to make?
Yeah, so it's already there. So just defrost it, and then either in the microwave or you can put it in the pan, whatever works. So there's something which I've seen recently, which I've been really enjoying and recommending quite a lot. So
all right, I'm going to have to get some frozen veggies and keep them there, because often, you will think of the weeknight meal and we always have some frozen meat in the freezer and go, all right, maybe we'll do a stir fry, and then look and go, oh, no veggies though.
Yeah, but you can also purchase packs of stir fry veggies frozen as well. And then, away you go, you're done.
Yeah.
Simplest meal there is.
And you mentioned earlier about little changes that, individuals make. And I noticed that I myself was having lunch at work and then getting home, and I was ravenous. I was really hungry and needed to eat something before dinner. And then that was when I was more inclined to snack on something I probably shouldn't be snacking on. And if dinner was made, then I would have just eaten dinner. But, you've got to go through that process. What are we going to make? What do we do now? Now I've got to make it. And then it's another half an hour until you eat.
Eating it, which can happen.
Yep. And so I changed, and now I probably have a bigger lunch than I do dinner, and I'll bring leftovers to work for lunch and make sure I give myself a proper lunch so I'm not as hungry when I get home, so I'm not snacking on something I shouldn't.
What an awesome change. I love that. And then that would leave you feeling so much better through the afternoon as well. You'd have more energy, and then it leaves you probably enjoying your dinner more at the end of the day as well, because you are more hungry rather than having snacked on something which doesn't leave you feeling so good. So, yeah, an amazing change. I love it.
And making something convenient. I love watermelon, but it's so inconvenient to cut. So if I buy it on the weekend, I'll cut up a big container of it, so then I can have that just as a little snack after dinner, as a more healthy option to another dessert. And it's just there ready to cut, and convenience.
And on these hot days, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's so hot. Yeah.
Frozen watermelon as well. Make a watermelon juice. I've been loving watermelon juice.
Love it. Yeah, a bit of mint in there as well.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yum, yum, yum. Every time you come in, I get hungry.
I have to start bringing snacks in.
Yeah. Fruit and veggies.
Yes.
Fruit and veggie snacks.
Healthy snacks.
Yeah, perfect. Well, always good to chat, Chloe. Thank you so much for your insights today.
Thanks for having me, Stacey.
That's Chloe McLeod from FIVEAA Nutrition Co. It's time for the 3:30 news headlines now. And then after that, taking your calls on any of the matters we've been talking about today. Do you have some thoughts on voting this election? It's expected the Prime Minister will be calling the election tomorrow. Have either of the major parties won you over with their budget ideas? 8223 0000.
5AA Weekend Breakfast. Mike Keelan and Angie McBride.
Chief winemaker Peter Gaga, good to have you back.
What's the best wine across all of these glasses? That one, what is it? Oh, Grange La Chapelle. Now, it's a hard job. Michael has to do it. Sorry, Angie.
Weekends from 6 a.m.
$3,500 Australian.
We'll make sure you get out safely.
On 5AA, always Adelaide.
For 50 years, Sterling Homes has set the standard. As we mark our 50th anniversary, we invite you to share your dream with us. To celebrate, we're giving you $15,000 in luxury upgrades your way at no extra cost. Choose from reverse cycle air conditioning, stone bench tops, solar panels and more. Plus, we're including 2.7 metre high ceilings. It's your home built your way, because at Sterling Homes, your home. Find your nearest display home location at sterlinghomes.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Experience all-inclusive expedition cruising like never before with HX Expeditions and Phil Hoffman Travel. Save thousands with up to 25% off expedition cruises in the world's most incredible destinations. Explore the icy wonders of Antarctica, the wildlife-rich Galapagos, the breathtaking fjords of Norway and the legendary Northwest Passage. On board, it's all included. Gratuities, meals, select drinks, Wi-Fi and unforgettable daily adventures. Hurry, offer ends 31st of March. Visit pht.com.au.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon. Mel Usher with the 5AA News headlines. The Prime Minister has confirmed he's been invited to the US to visit President Donald Trump. David Spears will be back in court next month after pleading guilty to 2 separate drug supply charges. Police have determined the death of a woman at Christie Downs yesterday is not suspicious. And in sport, the Crows will name their squad for round 3 tonight. The 5AA forecast, sunny this afternoon, mostly sunny tomorrow, 33. Right now it's 32 degrees. We'll have more news at 4 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Are you looking for financial guidance?
Are you dealing with a change in your circumstances? Looking to grow your wealth or managing an inheritance? Are you RCR ready? RCR Financial is your qualified and curious team of professionals, providing strategies for dealing with your situation now and helping you to create a pathway towards the best outcome. RCR Financial will show you the way. Are you ready to take the next step? Search for RCR Financial today or see us on the parade, Norwood.
Come on in.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 90 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
Doing day-to-day things online has made our lives easier. Paying bills, shopping, banking. It all makes perfect sense to do online. But what doesn't make sense is doing your will online. It's fraught with potential problems and can leave a mess behind. From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers can answer your questions and help carry out your final wishes properly. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Stratco Garden Centres have all your gardening supplies covered. So come in and check out our massive range of plants, trees, seedlings, pots and much more. Visit your local Stratco Garden Centre at Jeffs Cross or Gawler and talk to one of our professional horticulturalists. Our experts can help you with any garden-related questions, from how to best care for your lawn to the best plant for this time of year. So get into a Stratco Garden Centre now. However you bring the dream, Stratco will bring the how-to.
Live, local. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
At 27 minutes to 4 here on 5AA. Make sure you're listening tomorrow from 4 o'clock. Rowey and Timmy G will have their showdown fish-off. We're going to have one boat captained by Rowey and another one by Timmy G. It'll be Crows v Port and bragging rights are on the line. So make sure you tune in to see who's taking the inaugural trophy. And it's all thanks to Alpha Industries and Pepper's cleaning products. It's truck strength, but it's for your car, caravan, boat or home. peppersaustralia.com.au is where to go to get some more information. So that'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow as well. Foodie Friday from 3 o'clock. Oh, Chris Jarman's going to be cooking up a feast today. He sent me a photo earlier in the week of the item he'd like to cook, and it looked like some sort of a burger contraption and a lot of meat inside. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'll give you my review tomorrow of Chris Jarman's food. And speaking of reviews, Debbie in Port Noarlunga South's on the phone. Hello, Debbie.
Hi, Stacey. How are you going?
Yeah, good. You've got a review for us?
I do. I got 27 club tickets from your program, and you asked me to call back and give you a review, and the review was 20 out of 10.
Oh, 27 out of 10 maybe?
27 out of 10 even. Yeah. It was just such an amazing. The only thing is it could have gone longer.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it? Because it's a show. You get to hear about the life stories of the singers that they're paying tribute to, but also it's really great music. So it's a concert while also being a bit of an informative fringe show too.
That's what we liked about it. We liked everything about it. We loved that it was open air, that you could just walk in, get your seat that you wanted. It was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Who did you go along with?
Oh, my husband. I was actually trying to get tickets for his birthday the week before I won the tickets, and I had trouble getting them, so it worked out really well.
Oh.
And we just made 24 hours out of it, actually, probably nearly 27 again. We ended up staying in the city, give a big plug out to the Intercontinental. We had lunch at House of Chow.
Oh.
We went to the wine centre and did a tour there. And we had, nearly 27 hours with the 27 Club.
Perfect. How good is that? Oh, you really made the most of it. I'm so glad we could be a little part of your day, Debbie.
Thank you. Well, I just want to say Adelaide has so much to offer. Apart from all the festivals, there's just so much to do in Adelaide.
Yeah, there absolutely is. We are so, so lucky, aren't we?
Definitely. Thank you again for the ticket.
That's all right. Thanks for ringing us and letting us know how it was. Really appreciate it. Debbie in Port Noarlunga South there, taking your calls this afternoon on anything we've been talking about on the afternoon's program. Maybe you've got some thoughts on the child protection legislation that's still before Parliament at the moment. Maybe you've got some thoughts on an interview that Graham Goodings in Mornings did earlier with Councillor Mary Kouros. This is about an idea to get trams going to North Adelaide. Here is Mary Kouros earlier today.
Well, I think we've been going on this about this topic for a very long time. We almost were there, but with a change of government, that did not happen. So since I've been elected in 2018, it's been something that I have been keen to see happen in North Adelaide. We are a capital city. North Adelaide is part of the makeup of the capital city, and it's important to have better connectivity. So it's just, to me, is a no-brainer. So let's make it happen.
What do you think? Is it a no-brainer to get trams going to North Adelaide, or where would you like to see a tram going? I'd love to see a tram going down to Marion. I think that would be good. Get it going down Marion Road, or get it going down through the eastern suburbs. I know it's been discussed for a long time. A tram up Norwood Parade would be a good idea. It's regularly floated that we should have a tram to the airport, which makes absolute sense, or extending it from the entertainment centre further down to the port. So many opportunities. So many missed opportunities when we ripped up the tram lines. Where would you like to see the tram? 8223 0000 is the number to call. Or maybe you'd like to talk about the upcoming election. I was saying earlier that after the budget announced yesterday, and we're still waiting for the budget reply speech from the opposition, which will be tonight, and I'm hoping there'll be something big in there, because if what we've heard so far of Peter Dutton's plan is the crux of it, if there's nothing else in there, then I feel bad for all voters in Australia. I'm left a little bit unsure this election, and I know from your text messages this afternoon, so many of you are feeling unsure, because it feels like both of the major parties are in lockstep on a number of key issues. So far, they've both announced huge funding amounts for Medicare. Labor announced more medications on the PBS, and particularly for women's health to deal with periods and menopause and endometriosis, and the coalition agreed to support that as well. If it wins, they'll both support a funding package for FIVEAA. They'll both support a certain roads package for Queensland. So far, the main policy differences are if you feel passionately about nuclear energy or public servants working from home. And in the budget, you heard Anthony Albanese announce, an extra $5 a week for 2 years in a tax cut, if you can even consider that a cut. And Peter Dutton's big plan, he won't go along with the tax cuts, but his big plan is to halve the fuel excise for 12 months only. So that'll be an extra $15 in your pocket for 12 months only. Neither of those ideas are appealing to me, and not to many of you either. Rob on the text line says, elections, where a poly takes $100 tax out of your back pocket and offers to give $5 back if you'll vote for them. Don't bribe me with my own money. It feels that way, doesn't it, Rob? Thank you for your text. Give me a call. Let me know what you think. 8223 0000. And Rod is in Lobethal. Hello, Rod.
Hello, Stacey. You mentioned earlier that you might be leaning to vote for an independent or a minor party, but with our preferential voting system, if they get the majority of votes, that's fine. But if they don't, your vote will go to whoever you put before, either Labor or Liberal.
Yeah.
The advantage is that your candidate who you vote for will get the $3.38 for your vote, and the major parties won't get that.
Yeah. Just to be clear, Rod, I didn't say I was leaning for an independent. I just said I can't distinguish. Yeah, I can't distinguish between the two major parties at the moment.
All right. Well, with that, the Albo's offering $5 next year if you're a taxpayer. But if you're retired or a pensioner, unemployed, disability, you don't get anything. Now, I don't know why he thinks they don't deserve it. I think they probably find the cost of living as much pressure as what a person who's working. But with the Liberals, most of those people are probably driving a car, so everybody will get it straight away. So isn't that an advantage?
Well, it sounds like you're leaning one way.
Well, they're getting it straight away, but what about these retired and pensioners? They get nothing.
Mm.
If they're not a taxpayer, so they don't get anything at all.
Mm. Yeah, well, it sounds like that's convinced you.
Well, what do you think?
I don't think a $14 a week saving for 12 months is enough to get me over the line personally. But I also don't think a $5 a week tax cut is enough to get me over the line. They're my thoughts.
No, that's true. But why shouldn't the people who aren't working get some benefit?
Well, I guess you're assuming that all of those people do drive cars.
Well, most of them would. Also, some of the retired people would still be paying tax, but there'd be very few of them. But the other thing with the excise, I believe in time that will go completely, because people who are driving electric cars now contribute nothing towards roads. So they're going to have to pay some sort of tax, and I think the excise will come off completely and there'll be a road tax or some other system, because, that's not fair. If you've got an electric car, you don't pay anything towards the roads.
Yeah.
If you've got an internal combustion, you do.
Yeah.
So it's been mentioned, but I think that will eventually happen anyway. So,
Yeah, they will have to change that with the more EVs on the road, although, especially at the moment, Teslas in particular are a bit on the nose. Elon Musk has really done that to himself, hasn't he? I think there's quite a few people who would have considered buying an electric vehicle if it wasn't for the price the price barrier of EVs. I think there were a few people, myself included, considering EV purchases a year or so ago, if I could afford it, which I can't. But now, Tesla, not happening. No way. Especially after what he's done to Twitter. Get off Twitter, it's toxic. 8223 is the number to call. Yeah, I just said earlier on, I'm struggling at the moment. I don't think there's a big difference between the two parties. It's pretty grim. If you're looking at the options, there's no leadership, there's no long-term forward thinking. I'm not feeling like there's any vision from either of the leaders. I listen to both of them talk and I just shake my head. I heard Anthony Albanese on the breakfast show this morning talking to Dave and Will, and it was one of those politician interviews where you're pulling your hair out listening to it, especially there was one particular part of it, I'm just trying to find it here, where he just wouldn't stop talking about Peter Dutton and his plans, and Dave had to say to him, actually, PM, can we talk about your plans? Does it always have to come back to the opposition leader? But then you hear Peter Dutton speak and I'm not feeling any more confident. I listen and I just shake my head and I think, you're making your policies based on what you think is popular. Forcing public servants to come back into the office, working from home. Is that really the biggest issue the country's facing right now? Not to me. 8223 0000 is the number to call to have your say. Here it is. Here was the interaction with the Prime Minister and David Pemberthy on the Brekkie Show today.
The highest number of visas issued, first and second on the podium, is Peter Dutton wins gold and silver.
Can we just try to talk more about you than...
introduced?
Can we, sorry, PM, can we talk about you, not Peter Dutton, over and over and over?
If you give me a chance, I will do so. The fact is that we also need skilled workers in this country.
Oh, if you give me a chance. He had a chance. It was a long interview. It was, I'd say, longer than 10 minutes. And he didn't really answer any of the questions that were asked. It was infuriating. But then, like I said, you hear an interview with Peter Dutton and it doesn't feel much better. 8223 0000 is the number to call to have your say, and we'll continue to take your calls after this.
James Blunt is returning for his 2025 Australian Back to Bedlam tour. After a sold-out national tour in 2024, James Blunt returns to AEC Arena on Tuesday the 28th of October for one incredible night. Want to be there? Keep it on 5AA for your chance to win tickets, or grab yours now at destroyalllines.com. James Blunt, Back to Bedlam 2025 Australian Tour, proudly presented by 5AA, always Adelaide.
Consciousness. The awareness of one's existence has divided philosophers for centuries. Is it an illusion? Do we exist beyond our own mind? Or are we just watching Aldi's 43-inch Full HD Smart TV? Just $249. With streaming at your fingertips. It's special you can buy at Aldi's Big Entertainer Sale this Saturday. Aldi. Good different.
The Elevate event is on now at Lexus of Adelaide. Receive a complimentary upgrade to our Encore Elevate Luxury Benefits program when you purchase any 2024 plate, new or demonstrator Lexus. With exclusive benefits like airport lounge access and curated events, Encore Elevate delivers an even more luxurious ownership experience. The Lexus of Adelaide Elevate event ends March 31. LVD 2009.
Parties, weddings, big events. What do they all have in common? Pals. You know your pals want to have a good time, but what will everyone want to drink? That's when you need to speak to Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals will make sure you've got the right type of drinks, the right amount, and best of all, we'll make sure you've got the best labels that will keep everyone talking about your event. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Harvey Norman Bedding floor stock clearance ends Monday. Don't miss massive savings on selected mattresses and adjustable bases from big brands including Sealy Posturepedic, King Coil by AH Beard, Sleepmaker and Tempur. Prices slashed on bedroom furniture, kids furniture, bunks and more. Pillows, quilt covers, cushions, throws, all priced at clear. Don't miss massive floor stock savings plus bonus standard local delivery on selected purchases over $999. Harvey Norman Bedding floor stock clearance must end Monday. Best brands, best range, best prices guaranteed. Conditions and exclusions apply.
What makes Ray White the big name in business broking? They're people, like multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year, Brett Buckley, and his team of business professionals. They take a deep dive into your business, finding value and potential, and they know what they're looking for because they know businesses. They're not real estate salespeople trying to sell businesses, they're business people selling businesses. If you want to know what your business is worth, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA, multiple Business Broker of the Year awards.
We know you are concerned about SA's public hospital capacity and how long it can take to see a doctor. So are we. We need enough doctors to provide the safe, quality care you deserve. There are solutions for South Australia and it's not rocket science. Visit safermedicalstaffing.com.au and sign the petition to support our 3-point plan for enough doctors for South Australia. Authorised by Dr David Pope, South Australian Salaried Medical Officers Association, Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Stacey Lee.
11 minutes to 4 here on 5AA. A quick update from Karen Rolton Oval. The Sheffield Shield final, and Queensland are currently 2 for 85 after 25 overs. SA is leading by 91 runs. So we'll keep you updated across the station throughout the afternoon and getting your thoughts today on the election. The election is probably going to be called tomorrow. Rumours circling everywhere that the Prime Minister will call the election tomorrow. His own department tweeted out that it was in caretaker mode and then had to apologise to say, no, that wasn't correct. So a lot of people thought, oh my goodness, hold on, has the election already been called? No, it hasn't. It was a mistake. And I'm asking you, what do you think? Can you distinguish between the two major parties at the moment? I'm struggling to do so. Neither of them, in my mind, have provided any vision, any long-term forward thinking, any policies of substance that will address the cost of living crisis that we're all living through at the moment. And so I said, yeah, I'm struggling to work out the difference between the two major parties. This person on the text line, Steve, why do you feel you're only limited to voting for the major parties? If people continue to keep voting for the same parasites, we're going to continue to get the same adverse outcomes. I didn't say that, Steve. I'm not limited to voting for the major parties. I just said when I'm looking at the two of them right now, I can't really see a major difference, and I can't see either of them getting my vote. But as I said, we're not yet in the official election campaign. We'll see how that plays out. Huey is in Port Adelaide with some thoughts. Hello, Huey.
Yeah, good afternoon, Stacey. You know, between Liberal and Labor over the years,
and lots of family and associates and friends, relations in general have been swinging voters lately, I've noticed, and I've been the same myself for that matter. But there's been too much rhetoric and so much stuff over the past. There's been no real party change because their left-wing and right-wing factions tend to control the leadership too much. And we're no better off than we were in politics 50 years ago. I think the trend is at the moment, state, let alone federal election coming up, the ones that are going to make the decisive decisions to paying the floor out is the independents. And that's where it's happening in the Senate, is sort of swaying bills and accountability and finances, etc. I think it's the only way. I'd like to know this federal election coming up in South Australia, who are the independents for the federal election in South Australia.
Yeah, and we've seen a big swing towards teal independents and other independents in the eastern states. It'll be interesting to see if we see that here this election. I know there is a teal candidate in the seat of Sturt. We had her on the program a few weeks ago. Verity is her name, and it'll be interesting to see whether or not voters in Sturt will put their vote with the teal candidate there. 8223 0000 is the number to call. Let's go to Father Joan in North Adelaide. Good afternoon, Father Joan.
Good afternoon, Stacey. Sorry about my growly voice. But politics is not an area of my expertise, but mostly, I have to confess, I voted the way that my father voted for 50 years before me. Mm-hmm. But occasionally, I vote for an independent. The problems with the independents is their votes are going to go to the major parties anyway, on the whole. And I voted for this one party almost all my life. I would be willing to be convinced to vote for the other major party, but there's nothing that would convince me to change. I have a very wise friend. He's a bit older than me, and he says, in the end, it really doesn't matter which of the major parties gets in. It's not going to make a hell of a difference. Mm. Now, I don't know if he's right or not, but the more I think about it, I mean, think about America, what choice they had. Think about England, how many prime ministers they've had in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
What is it? I love the free world and democracy, but what is it? What's going wrong?
Yeah. Yep. I know. I couldn't agree more. It's a struggle at the moment. I would struggle to even name the UK Prime. I think it's Keir Starmer at the moment because I am interested in politics.
Right.
But
I'm going to go and see him in 4 weeks.
Oh well, there you go.
I don't think I'll be around when the election's called.
Lucky you, Father Joan. Lucky you.
I'll still listen to you, Stacey.
Oh, thank you.
It'll be the middle of the night, of course.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Set your alarm.
Anyway,
you can wake
thanks
up.
for letting me have my uneducated say, but I think other people uneducated like me try to get educated and then just give up and despair.
No, look, hey, we all vote. It doesn't matter educated, not educated, into politics, not into politics. We all get a vote and every vote counts, especially at this federal election. So I appreciate your thoughts, Father Joan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. It's Father Joan in North Adelaide. It's funny the things people hear, isn't it? This person. How can you say Dutton's policies are no different to Albanese's? As he has not yet had his right of reply. I did say that. I said I really hope in his budget reply speech there's something different in there. If not, I feel sorry for Australians. And you're saying, Mitch, there are 4 key differences: nuclear energy, reduction in public service, reduction in excise and border control. Yeah, well, I did touch on all of those except for border control because I also think that is a whole other can of worms. But anyway, I personally don't care about reduction in public service. I don't care about the reduction in excise. It's for 12 months only. It'll save the average car user $14 a week, which isn't any better than Anthony Albanese's plan of giving you $5 a week for 2 years. Anyway, keep your thoughts coming. 8223 0000. Timmy G's on after 4. Rowey and Timmy G. Hello.
Hello, you. You well?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, Stace. Excellent.
Are you gearing up?
4.
You're fish off.
Yes, it's probably, what would you say? You know when, superheroes have got certain superpowers?
Yeah.
Mine's not fishing. So I think my team's at a complete disadvantage But I've recruited 2 guys who do fish, who I played with.
Good.
Scott Hodges, a champion at both of those fields, football and fishing. George Fiarchi, who thinks he's a champion at both of those fields. So we'll have a bit of fun on our boat anyway, let me tell you that. But they are talking a big game, let me tell you, Rowey's team.
I bet
talking
they are.
a big game. So
I bet they are.
I just let that stuff go and we worry about the result. That's what we worry about. So I am looking forward to it.
Good.
But I'm not sure how much I'll contribute.
I've got faith in you.
I was once on a boat in Port Lincoln and we were over for a friend's 21st. This is how long ago it was. And no word of a lie. We took
so
2
about
boats
10 years
out.
ago?
We took 2 boats out of Sojourner and there was one that had about a dozen blokes on it and I was on this little dinghy with like 5 blokes. We would not have been 20 metres apart. They caught like about 100 whiting and we caught 2 fish and I got a hook in the thumb and that was it. So I am definitely the curse. Yeah, so it's not good.
Well, maybe you can be the snacks guy. Can you be water boy?
Very good at that.
Yeah.
I'm very good at that,
Okay.
yeah. And I compare things.
You're the morale?
Morale,
You're the-
very good for morale.
You're the personality hire. You know how we're talking about
Meet and greet.
diversity hires? You're the personality hire.
Definitely meet and greet.
Yeah.
I'm very good at that.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's where I'll go in the fish off. But
Perfect.
thanks to Ray Pepper and the Peppers Cleaning. They are outstanding. And
Yeah.
my boat's sponsored by Alpha Industries. Thank you, Angela. So our team will put up a big fight. Don't worry.
I bet they
So
will.
we'll be discussing that and more. But we've got the coach of Port Adelaide on before the game, Ken Hinkley. I think he's going to be
I was
on.
going to say, Josh
around-
Carr.
Yeah, no, not yet. Not yet. Ken Hinkley is still coach as we speak and will be for this season. And then Josh will take over next season. But Tom Cochrane will make his debut, and it's a terrific story. And Tom, purely on the back of his football, has got in this side. I watched him the last 2 weeks. Playing trial games, he kicked 3 goals, he kicked 4 goals as a small forward. He's tough, hard. He's only 19 years of age. I think Port Adelaide people will love him. His father played for Port. His grandfather was a champion for Central District, Richie Cochrane. Yeah, so he's got great bloodlines, let me tell you, coming down.
Great,
so,
good.
Yeah, so we wish him all the best.
All right, looking forward to it.
Cheery bye now.
After 4 with Rowey and Timmy G. Thank you for your calls and your texts today. It's time for me to get out of here, and I will talk to you from 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Coming up next.
Adelaide's only local sport show. It's the very latest in sport, live from Adelaide. Enjoy the